Hello. Happy to see you. I know in your world you first introduce each other. I am, and you are. That was the end of my first conversation with an extraordinary being. That being had the same face as yours, the same look in the eyes. We never spoke again. I usually walk alone, even though I have seen many of my kind in this world of yours. We do not speak to each other. We are not the kind who want to be seen by you, for we know you judge by what everything looks like through your eyes. You do not use your heart first. But I believe there is a reason why we are in the same world as yours. We like our alone time so we can practice the art of doing nothing. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. Even though we are mostly absent in time, as you extraordinary beings know it, we like to be present in the now. So we are right here if you need answers. We do not spend time to become something. We like to notice how life is during all our walks and alone time, so we have plenty of time. No matter what arises, we are in our own center, so you know where to find me. What are you? Can you hear me? That's the voice of the little girl who lives in one of the biscuit houses. I shall tell you what biscuit houses are. I have learned that I can better explain these things, or extraordinary people like you will lose interest. You like it when everything is everything. Biscuit houses are houses that are made to look like a standing biscuit. The form and color are also mostly like that of a biscuit. There are many of them here. They stick together. I hope my explanation is properly told and is everything. I know you like it when everything always makes you smile, and that everything fulfills your desires. But why do you think happiness and desire is the same? Happiness itself is possible only if you detach yourself from all that brings you misery. This answer has never been received by an extraordinary being very well, as this does not fit in with the happy answers they expect. But maybe, just maybe, you will remember it. The purpose of life is not finding happiness, but experiences and growth. Why is this answer not considered to be everything? I do not know. Maybe this means you must accept more than what you wish. Such is the nature of your extraordinary mind and the consciousness of ideals of life, which has special value and significance in your extraordinary modern life, where you have learned everything like it's everything, and forgot how you can unlearn if needed. Unlearn. Doesn't that fit inside of what you call everything? So you can create the ability to throw out what you think you know in order to adopt a way of being that evolves you and creates different outcomes both in how you relate to others and in your habits and actions that can set you free in life. But maybe my answer is not making you smile. so it does not fit inside what you like to call everything? What am I? I am. For this, I cannot find a properly told explanation which will be everything. If I had asked her the same question, I wonder what she would have said. Extraordinary beings like you somehow do not understand yourself. You are so extraordinary, you cannot understand what you are. But you have mastered other skills. I will never be able to understand or properly tell why you do not spend time to know what you are. Instead, you invent machines, you repair them. You make not one kind, but several different kinds of superfood. Endless varieties of clothing and things of all kinds to mix and match with everything else. You even try to control other worlds and beings. You want to be everything, everywhere you go. If I told you that you are the universe, would you believe me? Your heartbeat, your breath, your sleeping cycles of birth and death, your waking, your tears, your blood is all the same with every other extraordinary being. If I told you even the ancient rocks, the great tiger, the wise eagle, and the mighty trees that kiss the skies has the same natural rhythm close to you. They dance like you and whisper stories in their own languages. They fall and rise just like you. Would you believe me? Flowers that open and close, the tides and the great oceans, the enchanting seasons, the migration of birds, weather patterns, the dance of the earth around the sun, even the expansion and contraction of the universe, all of these are vibrations. Extraordinary being, you are a caretaker of your own life force, you, the universe. The next day, I finished my walk earlier than usual. I sat outside, looking at the sky. I soon saw the little girl again. She was going to school. She looked very upset about something. More upset than yesterday. I quietly joined her walk. I have not told you this, but I can read minds. It is one of the qualities of people like me. I understood that she was angry at herself. She wished she was better than everything. See, once again, you beings want to be everything and sometimes even better than everything. I wonder, when you were told you were not everything, would you believe me if I told you that you are everything and everything is you? I tried to tell her this, but she did not have time for me that day. I saw the same little girl another day. She was not so little by then. Time does not wait, not even for extraordinary beings. She looked lost. I don't know if that is the right word for someone who doesn't know what their heart wants. She soon joined a group of friends who were all little lost girls like her. I quietly joined her walk. I wish she knew she did not have to feel lost. If only she would speak to me, just maybe I have an answer for her. But she was busy. She had her friends with her. I was about to leave in silence when she asked me, "Am I beautiful?" For this I said, "Yes, you are. All the beauty you see around is in you. Close your eyes, look inside your heart, that is where you have the most of your beauty. Somehow, the idea of beauty is very complex in the world for you beings. You tend to like making simple things complex and then spend years doing studies to simplify it, accumulate data. You call it research, when all you need is to accept your own beauty without doubting. The next time I saw her, she looked happy. I quietly joined her walk. She was smiling, I was smiling. I stayed close to her so I could read her mind. What is love? I said, love is love. Extraordinary beings like you somehow do not understand what love is. It is the purest of feelings. It is in every living, breathing being. It is everywhere, in all forms and shapes. But one must look from the heart. How can you love and want something if you are always doubting? Would you believe me if I told you, you are love, love is you? A few months had passed by. She never stopped to chat with me. That did not surprise me. That is how extraordinary beings are. You are always busy, or like to say you are busy. By staying busy, you have learned a way to numb your heart. It is as if you are terrified to listen to the voice inside your heart. I know this is not properly told, and it is not everything. I want you to know this story. This story is your story. This is my story, and that makes it our story. There is one in many and many in one. There are no others. Is this something you consider to be a right answer, which is everything? One morning, while I was quietly walking my walk, I saw her again, busy walking to somewhere. I had to move faster than usual to keep up with her. I was patiently waiting for her to say a word, and then came another question. Where can I find love? What is the need for finding love when you are love? She got up and left. I thought to myself, maybe you must allow every now and then something to touch your heart and set your heart on fire. Maybe then you feel the love from within. She did not turn back. When we next met, a few seasons had gone by. Just when I thought she was about to thank me for all my answers in the past, she told me my legs look elongated and my whole body seemed to be drifting away, and none of my answers made any sense. I tried to tell her it was only in her eyes that I looked drifting, and I really tried to make my answers a properly told explanation, which would be everything, but she would not listen. In a way, I knew she would not listen. After all, who listens to their shadows? Extraordinary beings have trouble listening. But you are very good at asking questions. I was not offended. I did not want to force a conversation, so I waited. I knew she wanted to ask another question. This time, I was unsure about answering. But shadows can't run away like you can. We must stay and answer your questions. That is what we are for, to answer when you only have questions on your mind and never an answer. I had a certain pride when I thought of it like that. Never mind, she said. Never mind again. That is when I realized she had already asked a question. For the first time, she inquired why I was quiet. I had trouble replying. Then she asked again, why is it so hard for others to accept and love me? I saw a deep sorrow in her eyes, a sorrow that stayed for a very long time. Suddenly, she opened her bag, took out a small mirror, and stared at her face. I whispered in her ears, You are perfect the way you are. Accept yourself first, for if you do not accept yourself, nobody will have the courage to accept you. Love yourself first, for if you do not love yourself, nobody will have the courage to love you. When you fully love yourself, this gives you the opportunity to move through this extraordinary world as a true extraordinary being with deeper compassion for others too. So never have to be angry and disappointed with others. Embrace who you are. Embrace all that you are. Like a river, flow through life, touching everyone and everything with your love and strength, nourishing all that meets you. This is all. She shut her mirror with a clap. There was clearly no time for me to waste. But I stayed with her. I stayed until I saw a young man walking up to her. She cried and put her arms around him. They walked together. After many changes of seasons, we met again. It was an autumn morning. The crisp air made her face look pale. Her eyes looked like it was searching for something. I took a place beside her, and she showed me pictures of her home, her children. It was a different kind of meeting. She smiled a lot. She did not have any questions for me. She said I only know other kinds of answers. Answers she did not want to hear at that time, but thanked me for always appearing when she wanted different kinds of answers. She took my hand and started dancing. I danced along. It was a dance I have never danced. There was a music of the winds. There was a sound of her laughter. She was happy, and I was happy for her. But one must be careful. This dance can stop any minute. That is typical for extraordinary beings. When you are happy, you are too happy. When you are sad, you are too sad. And you change from happy to sad quickly. But take time to change from sad to happy. My understanding might not be properly told, and it might not be everything. I fear it has to do with your heart. Your hearts do not let go of anything, whether it be sadness or happiness. You do not realize it is non-existent. All that is shown through your eyes does not exist, but you suffer and laugh depending on that illusion. Strange beings you are, but I'm happy for your happiness. I'm happy you do not let go of your happiness even though it is non-existent. It was a dry summer day. I was tired after a long walk. I sat close to the small pond. I was watching the ripples. It was where she came once a week with her dog. She used to come here with her children before, but now they're older. They no longer live with her. She sat down with me and said, "Long time." I replied, "Yes, a long time." Without waiting to listen to my reply, she asked, "Why is life this way?" I tried hard to find a properly told explanation, which would be everything. But we must always try. I sat with her. I saw nothing in her eyes that told me anything. I wondered, should life be in a certain way? I wonder why such extraordinary beings like you are so afraid of uncertainty. You want to plan everything. You want to control today's and tomorrow's when all you have is now. Life is only here, right now. And what do you do, extraordinary being? Worry. Worry about the past or the future, and in this worry you forget life. I was about to speak to her about this, answer her question, but I noticed she was not ready for a different kind of answer that day. I knew we would meet often from then onward. She had more time to think of questions, and I was there, as always, trying to find the best other kind of answers. Even if it was just questions and answers, we shared most of our lives. I have a better understanding about the life of extraordinary beings now, but I don't know if she has a better understanding about my kind of being. We are everywhere, but also nowhere. You always want to find time. I always want to find light. We are dependent on light, just like you are dependent on time. Life is only the length of one breath. Life is only a flash of a light. That dependency we have is what we have in common. But no extraordinary being wants to be compared to us. After all, we are just us. I saw her again the next day. She had a book with her. She showed it to me and made me understand that it was a picture book, a book full of images of dear ones. While going through the book, she cried. I could tell from her face that she had been crying a lot. Her face has started showing the signs of growth. I hoped this extraordinary being would find peace at heart. I wish she knew that nothing was lost, nothing is gone. I whispered in her ears, you never owned anything or anyone. Lost and gone happens only in your mind. So why have so much sadness in your heart? She did not respond. She just sat there and cried more. I struggled. Would you accept it if I told you that your true nature is love? And that it is beyond smiles, happiness, sadness, and disappointments. But your eyes only show you illusions. You must learn the way of your heart. Will you try that someday? She did not say a word. Every day we spoke a little, some days more, some days less. Every day we spoke a little about her pain too. And just when I thought there were no questions for me that day, she asked, why so much pain and suffering in my life? For this, I really could not find a properly told explanation which would be everything. But my limited understanding told me that pain and sufferings are a way to find the way to your heart. In deep pain, if one learns to make the inner mind still, one can learn to connect to all the pain in this world. When that pain turns into love, your heart will expand and light starts flowing in your direction. Then giving and receiving love becomes natural. Being kind becomes natural. And finally, bliss will be the state of your mind. Though some kind of pain is necessary for my growth, she raised her eyebrows and looked at me, almost laughing. It is not the end of you. It is just a way of growing, I said. What if I don't want to grow? What is born grows, what is born dies. When the growing stops, the deterioration of the mind and body begins. Why fear growth, you extraordinary being? Why fear change? When change is unchangeable and growth is necessary, would your suffering ease a little if you knew it is only temporary? That what you want to get rid of only exists on your mind? I wish that kind of growth for you, but the choice is yours. The realization is there. You know pain and suffering is not what you want, and you know so much more. So why let illusion cloud your extraordinary mind? Just be you, extraordinary being. Be you in all times, with all beings, in all states of mind. For that is the most you can give yourself. She smiled, and for the first time I felt she was listening very carefully. I smiled. Sometimes she cried, some other times she smiled. Such is the nature of living. Such is the nature of the mind with attachments. One day she asked me, "What do I do with all these thoughts?" To which I answered without even looking for a perfect answer, "Can you leave the doors of your mind open so you can let the thoughts come and leave as they please? As you please. They don't belong to you, so you don't need to keep them on your mind." "I am trying," she whispered back to me. There was less light in her eyes with every passing day, but she liked talking to me. When she could open her eyes, asked questions, and made me think of the best possible answers. The light that you are is what shines for you. The light that you see is what you are. "What is light?" she asked. Would you think it is a properly told explanation, which would be everything, if I told you all that is not dark is light? She laughed loudly and thanked me. Perhaps my short answer was properly told. There was no next time. She never opened her eyes. There came no questions, and there were no more proper answers to be given. I quietly left her side and joined the walk of another extraordinary being.